Everyone, welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 7, Episode 53, DJI Mavic 3 Pro for $799 as a resolution. In this rebroadcast, I was joined by Mr. Marcus Crawford, Mr. Ron Brown, and very special guest Haye Kesteloo as we discuss the resolution for my DJI Mavic 3 Pro for $799 from Amazon. So without any further ado, let's play this rebroadcast in its entirety. We're going to talk about the 1,000-pound elephant in the room here.
Yeah.
And you know, the one thing we're gonna nail this down here. And I had been, just to let everybody know out there, I had been in touch with Haye on Facebook Messenger the whole time. Okay, communicated with him almost on a daily basis to keep him up to date and let him know what was going on. And then we did get a resolution here, and I'm going to go ahead and share the screen because Haye wrote a good article about it. So let me go ahead and do that right now. Okay, Amazon saga continues as more DroneXL readers receive refund on DJI Mavic 3 Pro purchase. Okay, and what you see right there is a redacted form that was mine that was refunded for $1,505. And I have to say this, the person who I spoke with, who called me up from Amazon customer service, it was probably within an hour I saw this email came out, and shortly after that, a firm who I financed that through, I received the credit through them. So it was just absolutely fast. But I want to kind of take you through this here and just let you know what I did was, I emailed customer service at csreply@amazon.com. And what I did was, and you guys have know that the past few weeks, I put a timeline together. And what I basically did was I sent them that timeline and the total time that it was on the phone, the emails that I've sent, who I've heard from. It was very detailed. And I also provided screenshots of the email replies that I've received back from Amazon. Okay. And multiple customer service agents told me, just in a nutshell, they told me, we're going to go ahead and honor this. Rest assured, we'll get this taken care of. And, we're going to do it in 3 to 5 business days. Well, we ended up at 10 business days and nothing happened. So it was that Friday, and I made several phone calls in the morning, was really kind of frustrated. And then I remembered, you know what? I have this email address. And I said, you know what? Let's go ahead, and I'm going to put together a comprehensive email with screenshots at the end. And then I added a little bit of flavor at the end, and I told them, I said, look, I do have a reach on social media, on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. We can also let DJI know, it might be wise in your interest to cooperate with us, because we can recommend to DJI not to pull them from the, to have, DJI can get pulled. So you tell Amazon, we're just going to pull ourselves from your store out on Amazon, which I know they do a lot of business with. So lo and behold, I got a hold of a great customer service representative. He was the best that I had dealt with. And what he told me was, he said, I want to let you know, your email was fantastic. He was the first one that said he recognized everything along the lines. Down. He said, number one, he said it's a third-party seller, but Amazon was fulfilling it. So it was a different situation right from the start. Okay,
that's the key, isn't it? Amazon.
Mm-hmm. That is an absolute total key right there. So what happened was, after that, he said, now I want to let you know, it has gone on to the executive customer relations. Okay. And he said, that's as high as you can go in the food chain on Amazon. It doesn't get any higher than that. He said, he said, I can't promise you anything, but that is very good news. He says, I really can't. He's told me, he was honest. I can't really do anything for you. Okay. What you're looking for, but to get any kind of a resolution that's going to be in your ballpark and in your vicinity, it's going to be in their hands. So he said, but they did get it. He said, and that's definitely a good sign. So the next morning, it was it was Saturday morning. It was about maybe 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning. I get a call from Amazon customer service, and the representative, she said she was from the executive customer service, and she wanted to say, she first of all thanked me for being an Amazon Prime customer since 2007, and she also said she thanked me for my incredible patience throughout this whole process, because it had been a very long process, and also for your persistence. And she said also, thank you for this very detailed email with your timeline. And she did come out and say, she said, normally we don't do price matching, but in your instance, as you've detailed things out here, we're going to go ahead and honor that. And we'll get this to you, within, you'll see it as soon as we possibly can. She says, I'm also going to forward on, because I had mentioned in that email, I said I had a couple of customer service representatives say, if a rep has told you that, they don't have a job anymore with Amazon. They can't do that. All right. And I said, all I want, and I told her, I said, ultimately, all I want is to get the customer service that we deserve. All right. For when we go out there and we contact you and we're hearing, you talk to 20 different reps, you get 20 different stories, and we don't want that. We want to have that. And she said she was going to take all that. She was going to note it down. They were going to move that on to the appropriate teams as far as that was concerned. And then lo and behold, like I said, within minutes, I looked out on Amazon and you saw the screen that Haye posted out there. And then within probably another half hour, 45 minutes, a firm sent me an email acknowledging the complete refund of $1,505. So,
hey, Bill, is it a coincidence that my Amazon shares fell by about $1,600 today?
I don't. Yeah, that might be the reason, Marcus. I don't know. So that's the end of the story for me. But for me, while I feel good about this, I don't feel great about it, because there are still other people out there who are still in limbo. I know I talked to John Flynn,
Ray Kelly,
and Ray Kelly, and I know, and Haye as well too. People who still are, don't have a resolution to this, and it's frustrating for me, because while I feel good that I was able to do that, I don't feel great. I'll feel great when I see other people getting the resolution that they deserve for this. Haye, I wanted to get some of your thoughts on all this.
No, I agree completely with you. I mean, I launched the DJI price tracker about a month ago or something, just to see and track prices of various DJI products on different retail platforms, including Amazon. So Monday morning, March 4th, I was updating it, and I'm like, that must be a mistake. Like, there's no way you're going to get a DJI Mavic 3 Pro for $799. So I'm going back to Amazon, checking it, and sure enough, it says 64% discount, $799, and I think it was $12.99 for the Flymore one, or the Flymore combo. So I'm like, that's too good to be true. Like, something's got to be up with this. But meanwhile, it's on Amazon. It's on the official DJI storefront. So it's not some obvious third-party reseller where you're like, okay, I don't trust that guy. But what I did before doing anything else is I contacted Amazon and I verified with them if this was an actual, not a refurbished product, not an open box product, not a used product, that this was in fact a new and verified DJI drone. And the person I spoke to guaranteed me, he's like, yeah, you can go ahead and buy it. If you order it today, you'll have it in 2 days. You're a Prime customer. I'm like, okay, sounds good. It was fulfilled by Amazon, shipped by Amazon. I mean, there was nothing that indicated that this would not be a valid transaction. So I went ahead and bought one. I wanted to buy a whole bunch of them if I could. And I wrote the article saying, hey, this is the best deal I've ever seen. If you guys are interested in a DJI Mavic 3 Pro, then yeah, jump on it. And a lot of people did. I've been in touch with so many different people that I know either from the drone industry or through DroneXL. And I estimate that at least 100 people, probably more, but as far as I can tell, at least 100 people jumped on this and got this drone. And in all cases, basically the same situation happened where The orders first got delayed. So mine was bought on Monday, was supposed to arrive on Wednesday. On Tuesday, it still said it was going to arrive on Wednesday. Wednesday morning, it got delayed. It was going to be delayed by 1 day. And then halfway through the day, the order got canceled for no reason. And I think this is pretty much what happened in all these instances. So since then, I've been on the phone with Amazon. I've been on the phone and through text messages in communication with a lot of the other folks that bought this drone. And we're all basically getting the runaround from Amazon. And you get all kinds of different stories. People get disconnected by Amazon. The phone transcripts don't exist. The files have been deleted or something. Some folks have had partial discounts. So in my case as well, I got I think they call it price matching, where they gave me a 20% discount on the drone. And then they started crediting old transactions to kind of make up and then get a little bit more money back to me somehow. I've spoken to supervisors. I was going to get callbacks, emails back, but nothing basically.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been insane. And I know there's at least 5 or 6 people at this point that did get the full refund of $1,505. When I saw from Bill what happened in his case, I followed his steps basically and turned that into an article and also referred that to Amazon. They were going to get back to me within 24 hours, and that deadline expired about 5 hours ago. So haven't heard anything still.
You would think, so when something like that is too good to be true, in other words, there's a price on a product like that, it comes out, you would think that Amazon, they're known for their sophisticated algorithms, right? You would think that it would get flagged and somebody would look at that before it went live, but clearly they didn't. And then clearly you had your conversation with them, hey, and they said, oh no, it's a legit deal. The whole thing just doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. And also you would think that Amazon would, I don't know, maybe have like a little crisis team or some script or some procedure to deal with the situation, because I don't know exactly how many people jumped on this, but at least 100. So we're talking about a pretty big number in total. Dollar amount. A lot of folks got the Flymore combo, so that's even more expensive. So you would think that Amazon realizes there's something wrong and that they come up with a unified solution that then is applied to everybody.
And it could almost be automated. They could write an algorithm that would recognize those situations. Yeah,
but the thing is, the more they try to avoid and the more they give us the runarounds, the more I become determined to see this one through. I don't even care about the money anymore. Almost, it's like you guys say you're the most customer-centric company. You're super passionate about customer service and all that stuff. Well, then live up to it. Do it.
Yeah. Well, one of the other things that really kind of got me was, all right, because even though they said it was a third-party seller, that Amazon was fulfilling this, all right, with such sophisticated systems that Amazon has. And, me being IT, they have their Amazon cloud services, which are world renowned. So, they're on the cutting edge of IT. You would think, all right, that if they're the ones that are responsible for distributing it, all right, that they would have known immediately. Okay?
They would. I used to be a reseller on Amazon myself, and I had inventory with Amazon, and this is 10 years ago. They knew exactly how much they had in inventory on my behalf. So there is no ambiguity. And I've heard the stories about, we ran out of inventory. The seller isn't here anymore. Like they come up with excuses.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, hey, you're exactly right. And I think the thing is this, and I think Marcus kind of nailed this too. Okay. They could have put together some kind of, they could have stopped and said, you know what, we have something we need to address right here, and come up with a script for your customer service representatives to say, we apologize for this transaction. This is the solution. Okay. And to say, we're going to do a one-time special and honoring that, because this was a third-party seller who we were going to fulfill. It was our mistake. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that. And I'm also going to say this too. All right. As large a company as large as Amazon is, and they're one of, if not the largest companies in the world. Okay. Even if it was, say, multiply 100 times, 1,500. Okay. that is pocket change for them.
Oh yeah.
They're not going to hurt if they give out 1505 to all 100 people who went ahead and ordered this drone. Okay, that's not going to hurt them. And Haye has it right. You know, and Marcus too. You know, talking about customer service. Okay, you know, to me, I up until this point, I have had pretty decent customer service with them. All right. Now I'll give you an example that I had with them probably about 2 years ago. Okay, I had ordered a I think it was, I don't know how many terabyte humongous, you know, hard drive that I put on my system, and that's how I work, because my main computer is a laptop. All right, but it doesn't have the kind of storage, so I bought a decent, real big hard drive, and it cost $499. All right. Well, it had an issue. Okay. So I sent that one back, and they were going to send, they ended up sending me, it actually, and this was so funny. They ended up sending me 2 of them. Okay. And I asked them about sending the other one back. No, you can keep it. Okay.
Oh, wow.
$500. Okay. I'm looking at my wife. I said, am I reading this right? Look at the email here from Amazon. You know, so, you know, there's I've had some good instances with them. Okay. But nothing as dramatic as this kind of a price difference, in them so clearly being in the wrong here. All right. And so clearly, I mean, you know, multiply it out. I mean, you know, talking with Ray, talking with Haye, talking with John Flynn and others here, you know, multiply this out. You know, it's pretty much been a consistent story that Amazon has been very inconsistent in their response to this.
Bill, I want to add one. I'm sorry. Haye, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is it should never get to the customer. Their system ought to be able to look when they see a price that is so out of whack from what it's being sold for. Otherwise, that shouldn't even get published until somebody investigates it and finds out that, okay, yeah, this is legit.
Yeah. And so in my case, one of the reasons why I'm so determined now as well is I'm one of the Amazon affiliate people as well, so I can see some of the transactions that happen through my website. So I contact Amazon, I verify the whole situation. They say, yeah, go ahead and buy it. So I buy one. Then I write the article. Now I see people buying one. Then I get messages from people saying, hey, I got one as well. So part of me feels responsible for now seeing it through to make sure that all those other folks that basically bought one because of reading this article on DroneXL are now in the same situation. So at this point, for me, it's not even about the money or anything anymore. It's about now I want to, put Amazon's feet to the fire and make them live up to their promise. And if they claim that they're the most customer-focused company in the world, then they better show it, because they're falling short tremendously right now.
A quick question, Haye. How much responsibility does the third-party seller hold in all this?
Oh, I would argue most, but I think that's an Amazon problem. Amazon should either make sure that those sellers aren't available on their platform, or if they're fraudulent, they should go after them. But that's not my problem as a customer. I mean, Amazon says, oh, we're like a super convenient, trustworthy retail platform online. You become a Prime member, will ship fast, super customer service. So they take away all the hurdles. If they cannot prevent fraudulent sellers on their platform, that's not my problem. That's their problem. So if that happens,
do you think the third-party seller will have to bear some of the brunt of this money they're refunding to customers?
I think the third-party seller should be held liable for or responsible for the full 100%. But I think that's an Amazon problem. And if Amazon cannot figure that out with that seller, then Amazon still owes it to us to make us whole.
Has Amazon admitted to anybody that's called to, claim, to get their discount, what the reason was why that price was that price ever supposed to be that price?
Yeah,
I ever the intended selling price, or was that a mistake?
Well, so the story is that this reseller in the past would have shipped different products. So you would buy something and they would ship you lip balsam or something, like something ridiculously cheap. And the idea is that will be the fraud right there, is they collect your $7.99 for the drone, they ship you $2 lip balsam, and they take off with the money. Now, I don't know if that happened in many situations here. It's kind of hard to imagine that would work if Amazon manages the inventory, right? Like that doesn't
Right.
add up
And
in my mind.
I've been a third party seller also on Amazon before, and like I don't get paid immediately. Like there's enough
Yeah.
time between the sale
Yeah,
when I get paid for Amazon to figure out any fraud, and I never see the money. But you're referring to like the sending a toy in a toy in a box for something for $700.
Well,
that works for eBay if you're like some kind of shady eBay seller. Or whatever.
Yeah, and if this guy, let's say, was selling out of his garage, then he can offer a drone on Amazon and ship the lip balsam from his home, whatever. Like that might work for a little while. But if the inventory is managed by Amazon as well, then that seems very unlikely that would work, right?
Exactly.
So when I called with Amazon, and it's like it's on the official DJI store on Amazon, it's Amazon fulfilled, Amazon shipped, it's not a refurbished product. I'm like, the guy's telling me, like, this is a legit promotion. They're $7.99 right now. And I can't believe what I'm hearing. I'm like, all right, I'm buying one. So at that point, it becomes Amazon problem. We have a deal. I give them $799. They need to give me the drone. And I don't think there's any other way to resolve this, basically.
Yeah. So at that point, Amazon had the opportunity to step up and say, well, listen, this is fraud here. Don't buy this. They had an opportunity to kind of walk it back at that point. They did not do it.
No. And now at this point, I don't care if it's a reseller problem. In my mind, it's an Amazon problem. I'm their customer, and they need to make me whole. So they need to make sure I get this drone for $7.99 and not for some other higher number.
You know, Haye nails it on the head right here. And one of the things that, you know, and Marcus talked about an algorithm here, and I'm just going to interject this point, okay? You know, I have multiple Facebook groups that I run. And what Amazon has done is they allow you to be able to block certain messages from even being displayed by keywords. For example, if I use the word for sale in there, okay, it'll block that post, okay? And then, you know, it'll let me know who did that so I can block them from the group, all right? A very simple thing, just to be able to do that on Facebook, you know, and here's Amazon, who, you know, as I mentioned earlier, you know, they're a leading platform as far in the IT world. Okay, they're recognized in all around the world as incredible cloud storage services. Okay, and in a premier IT service. Okay, with all of this being said, all right, it should be nothing. Now, you know, I used to be a developer, so I know that it should take nothing to be able to code something like this and to be able, you know, to vet a third party seller like this. I mean, they shouldn't have even been able to go out there and post this, let alone, you know, I agree. Something should have been flagged right away with them and said, stop the works.
Yeah. We're not. We should never have seen it. Yeah,
exactly. We should have never have seen it. But here we are. Okay.
What's so ridiculous is that if you look at the outcome for many people, like I know quite a few people just walked away. They just canceled the order or let it be canceled, or they returned the drone. So one scenario was where, like in my case as well, I bought the drone for $7.99. That order got canceled. Then they told me, buy it again for the full retail price. As soon as you get it, we'll credit you the difference. So then you end up still at $7.99. I know quite a few people who did that exact same procedure as well, and ended up shipping the drone back to Amazon because they just want to be done with all the bullshit. Sorry. They don't have time for it, and I get that. I don't really have time for this stuff either. I just feel partially responsible for all those folks that jumped on this deal. So now I'm seeing it through. The other thing I've noticed is that the solutions have been very different. So you have this one group that basically sent the drone back. Then you have people that get price matching credits up to 20%. Some of them get refunds on older transactions. And if you have enough transactions in your recent history, they can credit quite a way back and get you to your $1,500 difference. But there's also folks that are now looking into turning this into a lawsuit. They're planning on taking Amazon to small claims court and resolve it that way. So
you got to show real losses to have a lawsuit, and if they never take the money out of your account, that's not going to go very far.
No, I think that's probably tough as well. But my point is that you see that there's all these different storylines that have developed now, and there's all these different excuses that we get from Amazon. There's not a single straight story here.
So each case is handled entirely differently.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Each case is handled entirely different.
So there's on that very subject. I don't know if you saw it, Bill. John Flynn just posted that he just got an email from Amazon, and they're promising a credit to his account in 3 to 5 days.
I saw that. Yeah,
I've heard that one before as well. So
Yeah,
please let us know if it actually happens, because you'd be one of the few lucky ones.
And today happens to be John's birthday.
So. The mail.
Yeah. Happy birthday, John Flynn.
Yes,
so
and happy
what's
birthday
also crazy
to John.
is you
Anyway.
wonder how much Amazon is concerned about their reputation, right? And so I added up all the page views I got on the 3 Amazon articles that I posted, and we're getting close to 200,000 page views.
Wow.
So forget about the 100 people that jumped on the deal. There's quite a few people now that know about this. And if you search Amazon DJI drone deal, like DroneXL now starts to pop up pretty high. So I think their reputation might hurt more now than what it would have cost them to basically make all these people whole and get them their drones for $7.99.
That's
Hey,
interesting.
So,
I'm
you
selling my
think
stock.
out of this you're going to have less people ordering drones from Amazon going forward?
I do.
Some people I know are so angry they're not shopping as much on Amazon anymore. And I've been thinking about if I cannot change, let's say, all the affiliate stuff to B&H or Adorama or some other company, because this doesn't feel great to be treated like this by Amazon. I've spent more than 6 hours on the phone with them. I've spoken to supervisors. I've spoken to all these different reps, because at some point you learn that if you call again, you get a different rep, you get a different answer. So now you're like, all right, let me try again and see if this guy gives me the refund. So there's a lot of time wasted, and also on Amazon's part. So I don't think this stuff adds up for them either anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point. I mean, just think of the money they're spending with their customer service people dealing with it.
Yeah, of course.
Kudos to Bill.
Would the experience be any different? This would have happened at a BH Photo or something else. I typically find the customer services described here typical of a big company, and not just limited to something like Amazon.
I think that if you dealt with a smaller company like B&H or Adorama, you probably would have had a different outcome. They probably would have cared more. I think Amazon just says that they're customer focused, but I think they forgot that they actually have to live up to that 10 years ago or so.
One of the things I want to do before we move on to subjects and everything, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are some of you who are still out there who are still in limbo here, all right? You still haven't heard anything. You know, my suggestion is to follow what Haye put in the article here, okay?
Yeah.
And it's cs-reply at amazon.com. Now, when you send them an email, you're going to get 2 emails back. One of them is going to say that they got the email. The other one says that this email doesn't receive, incoming emails. Ignore that one, okay? Number 1. Number 2, send them as best as you can a detailed timeline of your transactions. Like I put down the date, the time, and the length of each phone call that I made to Amazon. I took screenshots, and every time I talked to a customer service representative, I asked them to email me their response back, what they just told me, to send me in an email. And I attached all those screenshots as well, too. And at the end of it, I stated a couple things. One, I have a social media presence, and I have a pretty good impact in the drone community. And also state 2, something to the effect like, I can contact DJI as well and recommend that they don't carry your products anymore on Amazon's. Put this together. And the thing is about this, I call it righteous anger, all right? Because, anger in and of itself isn't good. This is what I call it, justified, being upset or being angry here. But the big thing is this, okay? No matter how they've treated you, treat them nicely, okay? Go back to them very nicely, because I've learned, especially like with DJI, with their customer service, the nicer I am to them, the more chances I'm going to get a favorable resolution that's going to be more favorable. So don't give up the ship is what I'm telling you. If you have the time and you can invest the time, do that. These aren't any guarantees that you're going to get the kind of result that I got. For example, there's another gentleman who is in the chat tonight, and he's messaged me as well too. What Amazon did was they gave him 20% back of multiple purchases that added up to about almost not quite $1,500. And Haye posted that out on in a previous article. You know,
Hey, Bill, don't miss Eddie's comment there. We were talking
Bill,
about
can you
DNA.
highlight Eddie's most recent comments about maybe 7 or 8 comments up from the bottom.
Ron and I both were
talking about a minute ago with BH Photo.
Yeah, Ron and I were both involved in customer service when we were working men and had a career. So I understand.
So Eddie basically, Eddie basically lost a $3,500 discount, and they all offered him a 5% discount as an alternative, and they have an exclusion which states no responsibility for errors and emissions. And I mean, I want to hold Amazon accountable to anybody, but I bet you if you went into a Best Buy store and saw the Mavic 3 Pro with the $799 sticker on that some part-time clerk put up there, that they would pull the same thing here to say they're not held to that, and you would have to spend days and hours and weeks butting all the way to the top of Best Buy to get them to honor. I don't think the store manager on site would honor that price,
which is what Bill did. That is it.
Kudos to Bill. I think you know, again, I'm not defending Amazon whatsoever, but you know, I think you'd be pulling teeth to get other companies, even BH Photo here, which of course Eddie probably didn't take it to that extreme to get what you did. But I don't think this is untypical from big retailers. What you went through, Bill, here to get this what you would do.
What still is surprising, though, is that if you confront them with saying, hey, so you treat Bill this way, and I have it documented, like I have the evidence, like this is how you make him, how you compensate him. Why wouldn't you not apply the same solution to another person who's in the exact same situation? Like, how do they defend that?
Especially a sophisticated company like Amazon, right? Yeah. They're not a little fly by night.
No, and I told them, like, I know of these other people who bought the same drone and have had different resolutions. They asked me for order numbers, so I could give them order numbers so they can verify it. I told them I'm a reporter, so I'm documenting this. I'm writing about this, so whatever, for whatever that's worth. And they still don't seem to care. So I don't know. It's weird. It's funny because DJI actually jumped on a thread on Twitter, and they actually got involved. So I've been DMing with DJI, seeing if we can somehow resolve this. They're not willing to do much because it happens through another third-party seller. And I understand that it's not really their problem. I wish they would look at it slightly differently and maybe help and see if there's a way that we can resolve it, or maybe pressure Amazon to try and resolve it. But I don't think that's happening. So we'll see.
And Bill, I think you're lucky that it was Amazon, because they're big enough that they can absorb the thousands of dollars they're going to have to do discount this. But a smaller company, BH Photo, it'd be tough for them to absorb a $3,500 discount to Eddie, because they're not a global multi-billion-dollar company like Amazon that can write that off easier than a smaller company.
They don't have that power and that pull. The last thing I want to do before we're going to go ahead and move on here is this, okay? Is the only other thing that I can recommend is saying, you know of multiple instances where this has been successful, and get some screenshots, especially from some of the DroneXL articles, and throw them in your email as well too. That all of that, and like I said, it's not a magic formula. I'm not going to guarantee you're going to get positive results, but also put in there the executive customer relations. Okay, make sure you mention that. Okay, because it will get kicked up the food chain to that. So. Stay tuned. I know Haye's going to continue to follow this out.
Hey, Bill, real quick before you move on, you've made some YouTube videos about this subject. What kind of response have you got in the comments to your YouTube videos?
It's been very positive. Pro, me, pro Haye, and pro everybody who's out there looking for this. It's been very much in our favor. Okay, and some have said, there's been several, why don't you just give up and be done with it and don't spend the time with it? And I said, you know what, that's not in my DNA, because I have multiple other stories through the years. My kids are witness to it as well. Last year, I had an incident with Best Buy in our washing machine, and I ended up buying a brand new, state-of-the-art LG washing machine like the one we had. I got like a $500 discount on it because I persisted with some emails, and they clearly showed that I was in the right. So that's just who I am. Go ahead, Marcus.
Lauren has a statement on there that I think is probably important. He goes, how does a third-party seller sell as if they were a DJI storefront? Yeah. And I've wondered about that a bunch of times too. That's weird.
Yeah, how they got hooked. They must have a good developer or something on staff there.